Welcome back to another episode. I have moved on to insulation this time. Got some 3M Thinsulate insulation, and right now I'm trying to stuff it into these ribs across the roof and all these little cubbies up around the top and bottom edges. Once I get my windows in back here, then I can cover all that. This piece here obviously can get covered up, but for now I'm just cutting it into strips with scissors and kind of stuffing it and pulling it through, and then I've got a electrician snake I'm using to push it out into the edges. So. So I'm using this 3M Super 77. Basically just spray it on and let it sit for like 30 seconds or so, and it'll, once it gets tacky, it grabs and it don't let go, so get it where you want it. You can see I'm getting furry from the insulation and the glue. All right, so this is what I come up with so far. These actually, if I butt them up against the back side of this shower base, they're almost flush with this. I've got maybe enough room to run a piece of 1/8 inch up there just to have something to tack into. I've got this one plumbed up straight, everything's good. This one I'm gonna tie in with this back wall to keep it straight. And then I'll build a curb across the front, and that's where I'm starting. Hopefully that's gonna end up where I want it to be. Things can change. Just cut this piece of 1/2 inch plywood. I'm gonna slide it in behind these studs, and I've got some marks here. So this is actually going to catch, run this all the way down. So this will catch these wall studs. Also, when it comes time to put cabinets in, this should be the right height that I need to catch the tops of the cabinets. Tag those to the wall. All right, so here's what I come up with so far. Just taking a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and actually, let's see, I rabbited about a 1/2 inch out of it. These cross members actually have a little recess in them, so that's going to sit right up in that. And then my roof, or my ceiling, can come across pretty much flush on that. But that'll also give me a place to tie these walls in. And then up at the front, I'm just going to have to make a piece to tie everything into the headliner anyway. So I'm just going to put these up with some zip screws, and then I can get back to figuring out my wall. Good morning. So yesterday I got this pretty well framed up as far as I can without having the plumbing and electrical and all that stuff. And I had to throw the toilet in there, get an idea how much room we have. And today I'm going to start working on get that ceiling insulated. Just pop these little pins loose on the headliner. And you can see there's a pretty good gap in there. I think, rather than pulling the whole headliner down, I think I am just going to try to cut a piece and just shove it in there so it lays on top of the headliner. I think that'll suffice. I wasn't actually gonna insulate all that to start with, but I have enough Thinsulate to do it, so I'll just throw a piece in there. All right, let's see how this goes. Get started. I think these little push pins are gonna be a problem. They look grabby. That's that. All right, got her down in there. I guess I need to fill this last rib up. And then I can start working on the actual ceiling. Getting started on the ceiling, I decided to make these furring strips. It's about 6 inches wide, just to catch. The idea was to get this in the sheet metal. Then, since I'm gonna have a seam at every joint, be a little easier to have a solid point to get my seam tight and not have to run the screws into the metal. This will give me a little bigger. I can move back off the edge and just use some wood screws, and it should make for a better connection anyway. So I can get all these up. First, I gotta get these into the sheet metal, and then I can come back and start making the ceiling panels. So yesterday I got all the ceiling framing up in here. Get everything nice and tight. I went back and put all these strips in between each one so the ceiling will be flat. Added that nice curved piece there so it'll match up with the rest of the ceiling. Added some nailers up along the edge here. Today I'm going to try to get some ceiling panels cut. I gotta remember to put all the lighting in and wire that up before I finish it up. But all right, so I made this section. So this is still flexible, and the plan is for this to just slip up in here, and then obviously I'll screw it in a few places. So let's see how that works. That should do it. Just went back and laid out a center line, the whole length of the van with a laser, just to make sure I have everything as straight as I can. All right, that's gonna do it for the ceiling. Cover up these edges with the cabinets. There's gonna be a upper cabinet running the full length of that, front to back mostly. Up towards the front there, I'm gonna put the foam blocks back in and then kind of box in around that with some wood. And so I'm just gonna get some lights in, get those all tested, put the trim around the fan, and then wait on a couple more parts. We'll get the shower finished up, and that'll be onto the walls. Put some windows in, and I've got a whole bunch of parts to go down here, so that'll be next time, and we'll see you then.